Chapter 8:18 He who has a mind to beat his dog will easily find his stick. 1. Then Yi Qingtang vanished with a flash, and there was no trace of her. Oh, him discovered. Xian Yuan Lai scoffed immediately when he saw that Yi Qingtang disappeared without a trace, and he slowly descended from the sky. Yi Chun, do you really think that you can escape? Xian Yuan Lai's face was extremely dark. However, laughter suddenly sounded from a dark corner right after he spoke. Who's there? Xian Yuan Lai frowned and shouted coldly. Xian Yuan Lai, are you looking for me? Yi Qingtang slowly walked out from the dark corner as she looked at Xian Yuan Lai indifferently. Yi Chun. Xian Yuan Lai was slightly stunned when he saw Yi Qingtang. Almost in a flash, Xian Yuan Lai's expression darkened to an extreme. Yi Qingtang did that on purpose just now with an aim of leading him to reveal himself. It's me. Yi Qingtang studied Xian Yuan Lai and snickered. I was wondering which sacred existence was following me, but never have I thought that it's a little trash fish. Little trash fish. A murderous intent emerged in Xian Yuan Lai's eyes immediately after hearing Yi Qingtang's words. He, Xian Yuan Lai, was the #1 talent in the younger generation of Falling Sky Valley. He was unparalleled among the Falling Sky Valley disciples, yet he was actually called a little trash fish by Yi Qingtang. Yi Chun, you're really bold. Do you think that you have the right to speak to me on the same level, just because you can defeat 2 outer sect disciples who just joined Peerless School? Xian Yuan Lai's lips tugged up slightly, and a martial aura filled the air instantly. 3rd Heaven of Martial Qi Level 3. Yi Qingtang looked at Xian Yuan Lai thoughtfully. It was understandable why Xian Yuan Lai was known as the #1 talent in Falling Sky Valley, as he already entered the 3rd Heaven of Martial Qi Level 3 despite his young age. In her previous life, when she entered Falling Sky Valley, prodigies like Xian Yuan Lai were hard to be seen on usual days. However, after her rebirth, such prodigies were no different from ants in her eyes. At this moment, Xian Yuan Lai looked at Yi Qingtang and scoffed. You must not be clear of my cultivation base. Those 2 outer sect disciples who just entered the Peerless School were merely at the early stage of Martial Qi Level 3, while Xian Yuan Lai had already entered the late stage of Martial Qi Level 3. In a few more years, he would have the chance of attempting to advance to a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. He treated those 2 Peerless School people so solicitously not because of their skills, but because they were disciples of the Peerless School. I am indeed not clear. Yi Qingtang laughed. Oh, interesting. Things have reached this stage, and you still can laugh. So, are you ignorant or arrogant? Xian Yuan Lai said coldly to Yi Qingtang. Xian Yuan Lai, what has your cultivation skills got to do with me? By blocking me, could it be that you want to show me the skills of your late stage of 3rd Heaven of Martial Qi Level 3? Yi Qingtang could not help but joke. Xian Yuan Lai was taken aback after hearing Yi Qingtang's words and frowned unconsciously. Yi Qingtang was perfected Zhuanshan's disciple, and even if she had left the valley, he did not seem to have any reasons to attack her either humph. Then, Xian Yuan Lai kept all his martial aura back and shot a cold look at Yi Qingtang. Yi Chun, you have offended 2 outer sect disciples of the Peerless School and have committed a serious offense. As a Falling Sky Valley disciple, I obviously cannot ignore it. Quickly return to the valley with me. Chapter 8:19 He who has a mind to beat his dog will easily find his stick. 2. Serious offense? Yi Qingtang looked at Xian Yuan Lai with a face full of smiles. The 2 outer sect disciples of Peerless School have not said anything. Could it be that I was convicted of the so-called serious offense by you? You? Xian Yuan Lai did not know what to say after being retorted by Yi Qingtang. Just as Yi Qingtang said, the 2 Peerless School disciples whom Yi Qingtang injured had not said anything. But now, fallacious argument. Annoyed, Xian Yuan Lai waved a hand strongly and said, no matter what, you did injure 2 Peerless School outer sect disciples. Thus, before your identity is investigated clearly, you are forbidden from leaving Falling Sky Valley. If this person was really from a hidden clan from the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin, Xianyuan Lai would naturally not dare to do this. However, looking at it now, he believed that this person's identity was definitely feigned. If Yi Qingtang was really a member of the hidden clan in the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin, how was it possible for her to cultivate in Falling Sky Valley and be apprenticed to perfected Xianxun? The spirit energy in the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin should be many times richer than in Falling Sky Valley. Why did she not remain in such a good place, but come over to Nine Nights Dynasty? No matter how he saw it, Yi Qingtang's identity was extremely suspicious, and she did not seem to be from the legendary hidden clan. Xianyuan Lai, even if it's about investigating my identity, it should be the peerless school who should do the investigation. What has it got to do with you and Falling Sky Valley? Yi Qingtang laughed coldly and said, Xianyuan Lai, it's best for you to not be nosy. With this time and effort, going into seclusion to cultivate would be more practical. You are educating me? A vein popped out from Xianyuan Lai's forehead. Yi Qingtang had a sharp tongue, and he was unable to outspeak her. Educate you? Yi Qingtang shook her head and said, I am not related to you. Why would I spend energy to educate you? Insolent. You just entered the Falling Sky Valley for a few days, but dare to talk to a senior brother like this. Good. It'll take the place of perfected Xianxun to teach you about the difference in statuses. At this instant, Xianyuan Lai finally held on to an opportunity to not let Yi Qingtang speak and instantly lunged at Yi Qingtang. If Yi Qingtang was not from the hidden clan in the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin, offending the peerless school was definitely a serious offense. If he captured this person, once it was found out that Yi Qingtang was not from the hidden clan, he could send her to the peerless school to receive his punishment to win their favor. This matter was the only relation between him and peerless school. How would Xianyuan Lai allow Yi Qingtang to leave Falling Sky Valley? Xianyuan Lai rammed his fist towards Yi Qingtang's abdomen. Just you. Yi Qingtang could not help but snicker. With the flick of a wrist, there was a loud boom, and Xianyuan Lai's fist was held by Yi Qingtang's hand. What? Xianyuan Lai's eyes widened immediately, and his face was full of disbelief. Standing rooted to the ground, Yi Qingtang held Xianyuan Lai's fist in hers with an indifferent expression. This is impossible. Frightened, Xianyuan Lai locked his eyes on Yi Qingtang's hand, which captured his fist. Yi Qingtang intercepted his punch so casually. Xianyuan Lai, you're too weak, Yi Qingtang said slowly as she looked at Xianyuan Lai without any emotions. What did you say? Xianyuan Lai hollered in fury. He was the dignified #1 talent of Falling Sky Valley. How could he be weak? Chapter 8:20 He who has a mind to beat his dog will easily find his stick. 3. Your cultivation base is only at 3rd heaven of martial chi level 3, but you still dare to stop me? Yi Qingtang's lips curled up into an icy smile. Presumptuous. With a furious shout, a 3rd heaven of martial chi level 3 martial aura was concentrated to the maximum and exploded out subsequently. A wild wind was stirred up, and the rocks on the ground were blown into this hurricane-like wind before being crushed into powder from the impact. Xianyuan Lai made use of this time to escape from Yi Qingtang's grasp and retreated backward immediately. Why? Do you still wish to continue? There was a lack of interest on Yi Qingtang's face, and her eyes scanned Xianyuan Lai. Yichen, what do you think you are? A cold glint emerged in Xianyuan Lai's eyes as he stared at Yi Qingtang before him. In Falling Sky Valley, he was claimed to be the #1 talent, such that even Gu Yihan, the top disciple of perfected Xianxun, and Lu Mo, the top disciple of Watercut Peak, were not his opponents. Yet, today he was ridiculed by Yi Qingtang, who just entered the valley. You're already defeated, and you still want to frighten me with words. Yi Qingtang said with a smile. Defeated? Xianyuan scorned with contempt. Yichun, I only used 50% of my skills just now. Oh. Yi Qingtang looked at Xianyuan Lai and said, I only used 10% of my skills just now. You have a death wish. Xian Yuan Lai burst in fury and charged towards Yi Qingtang again. For a prodigy like Xian Yuan Lai, who entered the late stage of third heaven of martial qi level 3 at such a young age, he was naturally prideful and always looked down on everyone. Thus, he could not tolerate the ridicule in Yi Qingtang's words. Whiz! Xian Yuan Lai launched a heavy punch with all his strength. In an instant, a cloud of force enveloped Yi Qingtang and completely sealed all routes Yi Qingtang could retreat to. He'll see where you can escape to. Xian Yuan Lai suddenly inched closer with murderous air exuding all around him. A cold smile played on Yi Qingtang's lips, and she simply ignored Xian Yuan Lai's desire. At this instant, Yi Qingtang stood rooted to the ground and sensed the attack of a powerful punch, but she did not dodge at all. In the next second, Xian Yuan Lai watched in surprise as Yi Qingtang stretched out a finger. Boom! A loud sound suddenly rang. Xian Yuan Lai's overwhelming punch was actually easily blocked by Yi Qingtang with one finger. What? Xian Yuan Lai blanked out and looked in disbelief at that slim finger which blocked his fist. When did you have the misconception that I wanted to escape? Yi Qingtang said with a calm expression. You are really too weak. Impossible. Suffering a huge blow to his confidence, Xian Yuan Lai shouted in fury continuously and flung towards Yi Qingtang with both fists as though he went mad. However, Yi Qingtang only shifted the position of that one finger calmly and blocked all of Xian Yuan Lai's attacks. It's my turn. Yi Qingtang kept her finger back and smiled. Look properly. The fist should be used like this. Right after she spoke, she threw a fist towards Xian Yuan Lai's abdomen. This punch was so fast that Xian Yuan Lai did not even see when Yi Qingtang struck. Boom! A deafening sound erupted. Ow! At the same time, Xian Yuan Lai spat out large mouthfuls of blood. He held his abdomen with both hands, and with no strength to support himself, he immediately knelt beside Yi Qingtang's feet. Chapter 8:21 Xian Yuan 1. Xian Yuan Lai's entire body contorted in pain, and his face was full of agony. He never thought that Yi Qingtang's punch would be so terrifying that he did not have any ability to resist. Xian Yuan Lai, you claim to be the #1 genius of Falling Sky Valley, but can't even block a punch from me. Yi Qingtang towered over Xian Yuan Lai and snickered. Ew. Veins were popping out of Xian Yuan Lai's forehead, and he wished he could chop Yi Qingtang into pieces. Do you think that you're unparalleled just because you entered third heaven of martial qi level 3 at this age? Yi Qingtang gazed at Xian Yuan Lai emotionlessly. In the next second, strong winds were stirred up, and a frightening yin-yang perfected Lord aura completely enveloped Xian Yuan Lai in it. Half-step, yin-yang perfected Lord. After he sensed Yi Qingtang's daunting martial aura, disbelief filled Xian Yuan Lai's eyes. He originally thought that Yi Qingtang was at most in the mid-stage of third heaven of martial qi level 3 and never thought that she would actually be a half-step yin-yang perfected Lord. How? How can it be? Xian Yuan Lai was unreconciled to it. As Falling Sky Valley's #1 talent, he was already admired by many of the younger generation disciples for being able to enter the late stage of third heaven of martial qi level 3 at this age. But Yi Qingtang was younger than him and was already a half-step yin-yang perfected Lord. If Xian Yuan Lai did not offend her, Yi Qingtang would not bother with him either. However, Xian Yuan Lai blocked her way and launched a killing move just now. Thus, Yi Qingtang would not spare any mercy. No matter who it was, anyone who wanted her life must be prepared to be killed. Swoosh! In a flash, a long black sword was unsheathed, and Yi Qingtang slashed down at Xian Yuan Lai without talking any nonsense. A deathly air enshrouded Xian Yuan Lai instantly. Xian Yuan Lai had never felt such a bitter cold before, and fear arose within him for the first time. However, before Yi Qingtang's sword could touch Xian Yuan Lai, a piercing sound rang in the air. In the next second, an invisible screen isolated Xian Yuan Lai. Boom! Yi Qingtang slashed down, but it landed on the screen. There was only a scratch on the screen, and Xianyuan Lai was completely untouched. Instinctively, Xianyuan Lai looked up in the sky. At this instant, a white-robed elderly was standing in the air, and his cold eyes, which seemed to be filled with endless intimidation, were locked on Yi Qingtang. Grandfather. Xianyuan Lai was very glad to see the white-robed elderly. Fortunately, that junior brother sent the message in time and requested his grandfather to come over. Otherwise, he would have been slaughtered by Yi Qingtang's sword just now. Xianyuan Lai's grandfather, Xianyuan Yi, was the peak master of Full Moon Peak, and his cultivation had already entered the third heaven of Yin-Yang Perfected Lord. Xianyuan Yi Qingtang's brows were slightly furrowed upon seeing the white-robed elderly. Xianyuan Yi's martial skills were extremely powerful. He was a true Yin-Yang Perfected Lord and had already reached the third heaven. Leaving her aside, even ordinary Yin-Yang Perfected Lords definitely could not be Xianyuan Yi's opponent. Seeing that Xianyuan Yi rushed over here, Yi Qingtang knew that she had no way of killing Xianyuan Lai. A trace of a smile emerged on Yi Qingtang's face immediately, and she kept the black sword into its sheath. Yi Chun, how bold of you! Xianyuan Yi told Yi Qingtang coldly. Chapter 822, Xianyuan Yi 2. Yi Qingtang smiled after hearing that and said, Full Moon Peak Master, what do you mean by that? You left Falling Sky Valley without permission and wanted to kill a genius disciple in the valley. Do you admit to your crimes? Xianyuan Yi said, I don't understand what you're saying, Full Moon Peak Master. Yi Qingtang shook her head and said, Let's not talk about the fact that I am the Valley Master's disciple. Even if I'm an ordinary disciple in Falling Sky Valley, don't I have the freedom to leave the valley to train? Furthermore, it's Xianyuan Lai who stopped me and wanted to exchange moves with me. I'm very helpless as well. Oh, Xianyuan Yi looked at Yi Qingtang without emotions. They said that you're good at quibbling, and it is indeed true from what I see now. Return to Falling Sky Valley with me right now and wait for Peerless School to get to the bottom of your parentage. Before waiting for Yi Qingtang to say anything, Xianyuan Lai said hurriedly, Grandfather, this little bastard is definitely not from the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin. Otherwise, why would he come to our Falling Sky Valley to cultivate? After offending the Peerless School, he knew that he caused big trouble and wants to flee now. However, Xianyuan Yi merely cast a look at Xianyuan Lai indifferently. This grandson of his was still too young. Even if Yi Qingtang was not from the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin, killing her would, firstly, completely break off relations with perfected Xianxin, as Yi Qingtang was his disciple no matter what. Secondly, if Peerless School found out that Yi Qingtang was not from the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin and asked them for her, it would be offending the Peerless School for the second time if Yi Qingtang could not be handed over. Lastly, Yi Qingtang was so young, but could attain the state of a half-step Yin-Yang Perfected Lord. Even if she was not from the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin, there must be a powerful force behind her. Otherwise, at her age, it was impossible to possess this cultivation base without the powerful forces emphasized grooming and millions of elixirs to raise her. No matter what, Yi Qingtang must not be killed now. Even if she was to be killed, it must be because the other peaks pressured perfected Xianxin to clear her himself. This way, if there was anything wrong, it would all be perfected Zhuangqin's fault and would have nothing to do with them. Grandfather, kill that little bastard, Xianyuan Lai yelled at Xianyuan Yi. Shut up, Xianyuan Yi shouted coldly. Grandfather, Xianyuan Lai was stupefied and did not know why his grandfather reprimanded him. In these past few years, I have only been grooming your martial skills. It seems that you must cultivate your temperament in the future. If you're like this, you will definitely be at a disadvantage in the future, Xianyuan Yi said coldly. Noted, although Xianyuan Lai did not know what he did that upset his grandfather, he could only keep his mouth shut and not speak again. Yichun, I'll not ask about the incident between you and Xianyuan Lai today. However, you must return to Falling Sky Valley with me, Xianyuan Yi said. I'm afraid I cannot do it. Yi Qingtang shook her head and said, My clan summoned me. I must return to the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin. Yi Qingtang had already agreed with Master Du to head to the Dragon Vein today. If she was captured back to Falling Sky Valley by Xianyuan Lai, she would not be able to leave the valley, and the consequences would be dire if the Peerless School found out that she was not from the Hidden Clan. No matter what, she must not return to Falling Sky Valley. In at most 2 days, Peerless School will finish investigating your identity. If you're really from the Sea of Clouds at Mount Qin, they'll naturally apologize to you, and the Peerless School will hold all responsibility, Xianyuan said. Chapter 8:23 Xianyuan E3. Yi Qingtang could not help but secretly sneer after hearing Xianyuan Yi's words. Xianyuan Yi was truly an old fox for pushing all blame away from himself thoroughly. Xianyuan Yi, I don't have the energy to chat with you. After saying that, Yi Qingtang turned around and wanted to leave. Yi Chun, where do you wish to go? Seeing that Yi Qingtang wanted to leave, a glint flashed across Xianyuan Yi's eyes immediately, and he raised an arm to repress Yi Qingtang's swoosh. Almost in a flash, Yi Qingtang erupted her primordial qi. 2 golden phoenix-like wings flapped, soared to the sky, and flew ahead. Grandfather, this little bastard cannot be a disciple of the Hidden Clan. Otherwise, how could he escape like that? Xianyuan Lai hurriedly told Xianyuan Yi when he saw Yi Qingtang leaving the place. Xianyuan Yi scoffed after hearing that. He obviously knew that Yi Qingtang was most likely not a disciple of the Hidden Clan and did not need Xianyuan Lai's reminder. He had his reasons for not killing Yi Qingtang, but his foolish grandson did not even understand this simple reason. Can she escape, though? A gleam flashed across Xianyuan Yi's eyes immediately. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared from the ground, turned into a bolt of white light, and flitted across the sky. Yi Qingtang's primordial qi was raised to the maximum currently. She did not head to Master Dus, but fled out of the city. Old thing, not long later, Yi Qingtang's body trembled slightly. Xianyuan Yi's Yang perfected Lord Third Heaven aura had locked on her, but she did not think that he would chase up so quickly. A moment later, Yi Qingtang was already out of the Monarch City, and ahead was a natural canyon. Yi Chun, you have already committed a serious offense. Return to Falling Sky Valley with me immediately or bear the consequences yourself. Xianyuan Yi's voice sounded behind Yi Qingtang. Old thing, you really don't have any self-respect. Why are you clinging to me? Yi Qingtang sneered. Xianyuan Yi's eyes flickered upon hearing that, and he shouted coldly, Yi Chun, if you continue to be so stubborn, don't blame me for breaking your limbs and ruining all your cultivation base before throwing you back to Falling Sky Valley. Xianyuan Yi, I am the disciple of the Valley Master, perfected Xianqin. Aren't you afraid of my master's wrath? Yi Qingtang asked. Yi Chun, you don't need to say any more. I'll naturally explain the situation to the Valley Master. As Xianyuan Yi spoke, he raised his arm and launched a blow at Yi Qingtang, who was 1,000 meters away. In the next second, a wild wind along with a frightening force swept towards Yi Qingtang. As she felt the might of Xianyuan Yi's attack from 1,000 meters away, the expression in Yi Qingtang's eyes changed immediately. If she was really hit by the blow, even those ordinary yin-yang perfected lords would be severely injured, much less herself, a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. Given Xianyuan Yi's martial skills, he could kill Yi Qingtang in at most a few breaths. However, Xianyuan Yi had some concerns, and it was inconvenient for the current Yi Qingtang to die in his hands. As such, he only controlled his strength at a level which would injure Yi Qingtang severely. Otherwise, Yi Qingtang would not have been able to flee to this place. As the might of the attack came upon Yi Qingtang, the ink-colored sword was unsheathed sharply, and she slashed out with all her primordial qi. Chapter 824 give you a big present Yi Qingtang, slashed from an extremely tricky angle, and used the pure sword aura to slant the force from Xianyuan Yi's attack. After that move, Yi Qingtang did not stagnate, and instead put away her golden wings immediately before rushing downward. Boom! A loud explosion echoed. After the angle of the force from Xianyuan Yi's attack slightly deviated, the force crashed into a mountain behind. Oh! Standing in the air, Xianyuan Yi was a little surprised to see Yi Qingtang escaping into a canyon. Her earlier attack was extremely precise. As long as there was a slight deviation, the force of his smash would erupt immediately, and Yi Qingtang would be injured by it. What surprised Xianyuan Yi was not Yi Qingtang's martial cultivation, but purely her sword Dao attainments and the ability to grasp the chance. Very quickly, Xianyuan Yi reorganized his mind and chased after Yi Qingtang immediately. No matter what, Xianyuan Yi must capture Yi Qingtang back to Falling Sky Valley today. Yi Chun, you cannot escape. Xianyuan Yi's voice reverberated throughout the canyon. His yin-yang perfected Lord Aura had already locked onto Yi Qingtang, and even if she fled to the ends of the earth, she would never flee from his hands. Whiz! A penetrating sound rang, and Xianyuan Yi vanished in the blink of an eye. In the canyon, a glint emerged in Yi Qingtang's eyes. If she was not assertive and took a risk to deviate the force of Xianyuan Yi's attack using the sword aura, she would have been severely injured right now. Xianyuan, it's a small world. I will definitely take revenge in the future, Yi Qingtang decided in her mind. Behind, Xianyuan Yi's aura closed in rapidly. While Yi Qingtang's speed was fast, she was only a half-step yin-yang perfected lord after all, while Xianyuan Yi had already entered the yin-yang perfected lord third heaven, and the difference between the two of them was like heaven and earth. If Xianyuan Yi went all out, there was simply no chance of winning for her. Then, Yi Qingtang's lips curled up, burning the golden primordial GI in her body. Her speed suddenly multiplied, and she vanished from sight instantly. Sensing that Yi Qingtang's speed increased all of a sudden, Xianyuan Yi was slightly taken aback, but he snickered subsequently. Yi Chun, my aura has already locked onto you. How can you escape from me? At this instant, Yi Qingtang was already a few kilometers away, and there was a huge mountain peak above. Before long, Xianyuan Yi chased to this place. Why? You're not running anymore? Xianyuan Yi looked at Yi Qingtang as though he was looking at his prey. I have a big present to give you. Afterward, Yi Qingtang waved her sword at the mountain peak above. In the next second, the entire mountain peak crumbled from the power of Yi Qingtang's move. Before Xianyuan Yi could return to his senses, he was already smashed and buried under the countless boulders. In at most 10 breaths, numerous boulders exploded, and Xianyuan Yi gradually rose into the air, where he scanned the surroundings grimly. A trace of astonishment emerged on his face very soon. At this moment, he could no longer sense Yi Qingtang's aura anymore. In a certain corner of the canyon, the sound of flowing water could be heard continuously. There was a turbid river at the bottom, and Yi Qingtang was hidden in this river. Given Yi Qingtang's experience, she knew that water could sever one's martial aura. Thus, by hiding in this river, Xianyuan Yi would no longer be able to sense her location. Chapter 825 Cross-Dress. Yi Chun, I see you. If you don't come out, don't blame me for killing you. A while later, Xianyuan Yi's voice sounded above the river. Yi Qingtang scoffed in the river. That Xianyuan Yi really treated her as a 3-year-old. In the air, Xianyuan Yi's dagger-like eyes scanned across the surroundings. Given Yi Qingtang's speed, she must still be nearby and could not be too far away. Moreover, only soil, mud, and water could screen one's martial aura. As such, Xianyuan Yi could determine that Yi Qingtang must be hiding nearby. It was, however, that there were numerous rivers and places with soil in the surrounding area. Without locking onto her aura, searching for Yi Qingtang was no different from looking for a needle in a haystack. With a yell, Xianyuan Yi swept the surroundings with his sword. In a flash, the land nearby shattered, and rivers exploded with a frightening sound. Good. Yi Chun, since you're not appearing, I want to see how long you can hide for. Xianyuan Yi's lips tugged up slightly, and an icy smile appeared on his face. Regardless of where Yi Qingtang was hiding in, she had to hold her breath, and even an yin-yang perfected lord could not hold their breath for more than one day. He was standing in the air right now, and as long as Yi Qingtang came out to breathe, she would definitely not escape his eyes. Yi Qingtang naturally knew what Xianyuan Yi was thinking of, but she was not in a hurry. Since Xianyuan Yi wanted to play, she would just accompany him then. Time passed extremely quickly. In the blink of an eye, numerous hours passed, and it was already deep into the night right now. In the river, Yi Qingtang had already reached her limit and had to leave the river to breathe. Otherwise, the consequences would be disastrous. Taking advantage of the dark, Yi Qingtang walked onto the shore quietly. However, at this instant, a force swept across, and Yi Qingtang dodged away in time. Boom! The force caused the ground before Yi Qingtang to crack, and a wide, deep pit appeared. At the same time, Xianyuan Yi snickered and descended from the sky immediately, and he grabbed Yi Qingtang's left shoulder. "Who's there?" Yi Qingtang shouted furiously and turned around. After seeing Yi Qingtang's appearance, Yi's expression changed, and an odd look emerged on his face. The person before him was actually a stunning girl who was wearing a white dress. This was no man, and clearly a lady. "You," Xianyuan Yi frowned deeply. He originally thought that it was Yi Chun, but why was it suddenly a lady? The lady before him looked completely different from Yi Chun, and they were simply two different people. Furthermore, with Xianyuan Yi's abilities, he could easily tell that it was not a disguise technique. "Who are you? Why do you want to attack me?" There was a trace of anger in Yi Qingtang's bright eyes. "Who are you and why are you here?" Xianyuan Yi asked back. "I'm a family clan disciple. I head to this canyon to train and entered this river to wash my body as I was covered in days of dust. What is wrong with that? Instead, you're pretty old already. Why are you here to peep?" Yi Qingtang said. "Humph. Young one, don't talk nonsense." Xianyuan Yi said coldly. The moment he finished his sentence, he seemed to have thought of something and stared right at Yi Qingtang. "You said that you entered the river to wash your body, but why did you wash with clothes on?" At this instant, Yi Qingtang's clothes were still wet. Chapter 8, 26 Cross-Dress 2. Yi Qingtang looked at Xianyuan Yi coldly and replied, "A battle can happen any time during training. Do I still have to unclothe myself completely? Moreover, what has it got to do with you whether I wash my body with clothes on or not?" Xianyuan Yi did not say anything else after hearing Yi Qingtang. Many female disciples in Falling Sky Valley trained outside, and they would never remove all their clothes to wash their bodies even if they were covered in dust. "Young one, you're too arrogant." Xianyuan Yi stared at Yi Qingtang and said, "Young one, who are you?" Yi Qingtang asked. "I am Falling Sky Valley's Full Moon Peak Master." Xianyuan Yi shouted coldly. "You are one of the Peak Masters in Falling Sky Valley." Upon hearing that, Yi Qingtang's face was filled with astonishment. As he saw Yi Qingtang's reaction, Xianyuan Yi's expression turned slightly better. "So, it's Senior Xianyuan. Sorry for not recognizing you," Yi Qingtang said with cupped fists. "Let me ask you, did you see a handsome young man wearing the Falling Sky Valley disciple's uniform?" Xianyuan Yi asked Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang was in deep thought after hearing the question. A while later, she suddenly said, "I saw a man burying himself in soil, and he was covered in soil all over, so I don't know whether he is handsome or what he is wearing." Yi Qingtang replied. "Oh." A glint flashed across Xianyuan Yi's eyes after hearing what Yi Qingtang said. A man hiding in the soil apart from Yi Chun. There was no way it could be anyone else. "Where is that man now?" Xianyuan Yi shouted coldly. Yi Qingtang immediately pointed a direction for Xianyuan Yi and replied, "Senior Xianyuan, I met him a few hours ago, and I am unable to judge whether that man is still hidden in the soil." After Yi Qingtang finished her sentence, Xianyuan he immediately turned into a bolt of light and disappeared from sight. After confirming that Xian Yuan he had left completely, the corners of Yi Qingtang's lips curled up slightly, and a devilish smile hung on her alluring face. Xian Yuan Yi, you're still too young. Then, Yi Qingtang turned around and walked out of the canyon. The direction that Yi Qingtang pointed at just now was a lair belonging to a large group of demonic beasts, which she saw when she was flying in the sky during the day. Although it was impossible for them to injure Xian Yuan, they would not give Xian Yuan a pleasant time. In just a moment, roars of demonic beasts, along with Xian Yuan Yi's enraged yells, echoed in the silent canyon. On the journey, Yi Qingtang turned around and looked at the deeper areas of the canyon. Xian Yuan Yi, you will not be able to find Yi Chun. You can just play with those large demonic beasts. Afterward, Yi Qingtang left the canyon completely without turning back. After returning to the central monarch city of Nine Knights Dynasty, it was already dawn of the second day. The places which the little white tiger wrecked in Bliss Forging Workshop were already repaired. Today, the main entrance to Bliss Forging Workshop was shut tightly. Noticing the situation, many visitors could only leave disappointedly. Very quickly, Yi Qingtang went forward and knocked on the door. The door was open in a while, and Du Sheng poked his head out of the door. You are? Du Sheng asked with a frown when he saw a foreign lady outside the door. I'm looking for Master Du, Yi Qingtang said. Is Master Du someone you can meet just because you wish to? Unhappy, Du Sheng slammed the door shut heavily once again. Chapter 8:27 Disturbed Sleep. Seeing that Du Sheng closed the door immediately, Yi Qingtang was dumbfounded. Then, she suddenly recalled that she had already changed her appearance and resumed her female identity. Du Sheng did not recognize the current her. With no other options, Yi Qingtang could only knock on Bliss Forging Workshop's door once again. What? Do you not understand what I said just now? Du Sheng opened the door and frowned at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang originally wanted to explain the situation, but before Yi Qingtang could say anything, the little white tiger's voice suddenly sounded from the Bliss Forging Workshop. Fuck! Which blind person keeps disturbing my good sleep? As an arrogant voice sounded, the little white tiger stretched his back and trotted out of the door. However, the little white tiger was stupefied when he looked outside the door. Was Yi Qingtang addicted to cross-dressing? One moment a male and the other a female. Why? Disturbed your good sleep? Yi Qingtang looked at the little white tiger with a seeming smile. Du Sheng. The little white tiger immediately looked at the young man beside it. Fuck. Du Sheng, I was wondering who it was. So it is you. Why are you making so much noise in the morning and disturbing my sleep? If the little white tiger was the second best in the world at changing its stance, there would definitely not be anyone who dared to be the first. Me? After hearing the little white tiger, Du Sheng pointed at himself in bewilderment. Wasn't the person who disturbed its sleep the lady outside the door? Forget it, forget it. I forgive you. The little white tiger had an arrogant expression. Oh, all right. Du Sheng nodded instinctively. Make way. The little white tiger walked forward and pushed Du Sheng aside with its, but before looking at Yi Qingtang. Come, come, come. Come in quickly. Before waiting for the little white tiger to finish speaking, Yi Qingtang had already walked into the Bliss Forging Workshop. In the main hall, the silver wolf was still sleeping, and the wolf nest beside it was clearly seized by the little white tiger. Du Sheng called Master Du over. After entering Bliss Forging Workshop, Yi Qingtang looked at Du Sheng and said with a smile, You are. Du Sheng was a little surprised. What was the relationship between Yi Qin's spirit animal and this lady? I told you to call that old man out, and you just need to do it. Why do you have so many questions when you're so young? All you know is to ask this and that. No wonder you never managed to learn a few skills from the old man, the little white tiger said while staring at Du Sheng. Du Sheng stared blankly at the little white tiger. All right then. Du Sheng scratched his head and walked into the inner hall. After Du Sheng left, the little white tiger looked at Yi Qingtang and asked, Why did you change back again? Why do you have so many questions when you're so young? No wonder you don't have an awe-inspiring presence like your father. Yi Qingtang said with a smile. After hearing Yi Qingtang, the little white tiger was immediately stupefied and subsequently rolled its eyes at Yi Qingtang a few times. Before long, Master Du walked out of the inner hall and was rather confused when he saw Yi Qingtang. He did not seem to know this stunning lady. Not waiting for Master Du to speak, Yi Qingtang said, "Sorry, Master Du, I was delayed by something yesterday. When do we set off to the Dragon Vein?" Master Du was taken aback to hear what Yi Qingtang said, and he looked at her in surprise. How? How do you know about the Dragon Vein? Could it be that you're Yi Chun? Yi Qingtang smiled. She was about to admit the identity, but was a little dumbstruck by Master Du's next sentence. Brother Yi Chen's wife? Younger sister? Older sister? Friend? Master Du asked with a frown. Chapter 828 Miss Yi Chun. The little white tiger could not hold itself back and interrupted Master Du. She is Yi Chun. This is how she looks like in the first place. This lady is Brother Yi Chun. Master Du sized up the lady before him in disbelief. No matter how he looked, the two of them are definitely not the same person. You said you were Brother Yi Chun? Master Du stared at Yi Qingtang and asked. Master Du, indeed, it is me. Yi Qingtang nodded. Nonetheless, Master Du shook his head and said, I don't believe you. Yi Chun was male, but the person before him was female, and even their appearances were completely different. How would Master Du believe it easily? Since that's the case, may I know what I should do for you to believe me? Yi Qingtang asked. That's not difficult. As long as you recover Brother Yi Chen's appearance, I will believe you, Master Du said. Yi Qingtang was speechless. There seemed to be no difference between saying that and not. There's no need to go through such trouble. Yi Qingtang raised her arm slowly. When she turned her palm over, a golden flame appeared in her palms like a dancing fairy. Master Du was astonished when he saw the golden flame. Wasn't this Yi Chen's extraordinary flame? When he saw Yi Qingtang's extraordinary flame, he finally believed the lady before his eyes was Yi Chun. All extraordinary flames had their own differences. In this world, each extraordinary flame was unique, and even if there were two similar types, there would still be a slight difference. However, the extraordinary flame that Yi Qingtang displayed was exactly the same as Yi Chen's. Brother Yi Chun, why did you become a girl? Master Du asked, flabbergasted. To tell you the truth, I was originally a female, but became Yi Chun because of some needs. Yi Qingtang explained. Master Du nodded. So, do I call you Brother Yi Chun, or Miss Yi Chun from now on? Yi Qingtang did not know what to say for the moment. Ultimately, she could only reply helplessly. You can call me whatever you like. Master Du, all right? Master Du said. Brother Yi Chun, let's head to the Dragon Vein right now. Yi Qingtang had no objections to that. According to their initial agreement, they were supposed to head to the Dragon Vein yesterday. However, Xin Yuan Yi appeared midway, and they were already late by half a day. Very quickly, Master Du went back to the inner hall to make his preparations and briefed Du Sheng on some things before returning to the outer hall again. Xiaoguai, Yi Qingtang called when she saw that the silver wolf was still sleeping. The silver wolf opened its eyes instantly after hearing that. It scanned its surroundings with a fierce gaze and bared its fangs, only keeping it once it saw Yi Qingtang. Let's not bring this burden, the little white tiger said. That's right, Brother Yi Chun, the Dragon Vein is extremely dangerous. From what I see, it's better for your pet wolf to stay at my place, Master Du said. However, under Yi Qingtang's persistent requests, the silver wolf still followed Yi Qingtang and was on the road together with the rest. Master Du and Yi Qingtang walked out of the Bliss Forging Workshop with the Silver Wolf and Little White Tiger, and they headed out of Nine Knights Dynasty's Monarch City. The Dragon Vein was very far away from the Nine Knights Dynasty Monarch City, and with the speed of the two people, they still required a few days to reach. Half a day later, they were already far from Nine Knights Dynasty. They passed a post house, where Master Du bought 2 horses to use as their means of transportation. However, before Yi Qingtang got on the horse, the silver wolf tugged on her clothes with its claws. "What is it, Xiao Guai?" Yi Qingtang looked at the silver wolf and asked. The silver wolf howled and crouched on the ground immediately. "I want you to ride on it," the little white tiger said. Chapter 829, The Legend of the Dragon Vein. Didn't you not understand wolf language? Yi Qingtang looked at the little white tiger. After hearing that, the little white tiger said, "You can guess by looking at its lowly appearance." Yi Qingtang did not say anything and sat on the silver wolf's back gently. The moment Yi Qingtang sat on the silver wolf, it stood up and immediately turned into a silver shadow. In just the blink of an eye, it disappeared completely without a trace, leaving behind an ownerless horse that looked ahead in bewilderment. Fuck, I never thought that this fellow's speed would be so fast, although his skills are only SOSO. The little white tiger crouched on Yi Qingtang's left shoulder and said after sensing the silver wolf's speed, "Even if an ordinary Yang perfected lord put in all his might, he might not be able to keep up with the silver wolf's running speed." The little white tiger pondered immediately. Could it be that the demon god transformed this imitation for Yi Qingtang to use to escape when she encountered danger? Yi Qingtang was extremely surprised, and she looked down at the majestic silver wolf. "Xiao Guai, you are actually so fast," the silver wolf howled after hearing Yi Qingtang, and its speed increased for some reason. "Brother Yi Chun, slow down a little." In a while, Master Dust's voice sounded from behind. Yi Qingtang immediately let the silver wolf decrease its speed. She did not know the location of the dragon vein and still required Master Du to lead the way. Very quickly, Master Du chased up to them and looked at the little white tiger on Yi Qingtang's shoulder. "I really could not tell that this little animal of yours was this fast. I'm afraid that an Yang perfected lord would also be pretty inferior when compared to it." Yi Qingtang, too, was extremely puzzled over Xiao Guai's speed as she only found out about it today. "Brother Yi Chun, do you know anything about the dragon vein?" Master Du changed the topic and asked Yi Qingtang. Knowing that Yi Qingtang's cultivation base was at a half-step Yang perfected lord, Master Du thought that Yi Qingtang should have some knowledge. After hearing Master Du's question, Yi Qingtang was, however, in silence. In her previous life, she did hear rumors of the dragon vein, but she had never gotten involved in it. That dragon vein was guarded by the top 3 forces of this mainland. Apart from Peerless School of Nine Knights Dynasty and Biming Manor of Formidable Heavens Dynasty, there is also the most powerful evil cult on this mainland currently, the Phantom Valley. Other than these 3 forces, there was no one else who dared to go near the dragon vein. "I don't know it very well," Yi Qingtang replied honestly in the end. Master Du did not mind it, and spoke after thinking for a while. According to the legend, before this mainland was truly formed, there was a true dragon and divine phoenix above the heavens, and they battled for dozens of years in the void. In the end, it said that the true dragon was severely injured and fell from the heavens. It landed here, forming the dragon vein. Yi Qingtang was not very clear of this legend, and had only heard it from Master Du today. In her previous life, she did not have any interest in the dragon vein, and naturally would not bother with such legends. The true dragon could not defeat the divine phoenix, and was even killed by the divine phoenix. "Old fellow, I am young. You must not lie to me." The little white tiger stared at Master Du with an annoyed expression. Master Du could not hold himself back from shooting the little white tiger a look after hearing it. "Everything I said is what I heard. I didn't even see the battle back then. How would I be clear of the truth?" Chapter 830, Mysterious Youth. Similar to the little white tiger's race, the true dragon and divine phoenix were top fiend celestial beasts and the supreme among the fiend celestial beasts. Even if the battle between the true dragon and divine phoenix lasted for millions of years, there might not be a conclusion. Furthermore, the true dragon's bodily strength was the most powerful out of all fiend celestial beasts, and no one could compare to it, probably not even a deity. How would a true dragon die so easily like this? There are at least 7 to 8 mainlands of different sizes in the periphery of this mainland. However, the martial culture of this mainland is the most backward and still too weak compared to the surrounding mainlands. Brother Yichun, do you know why? Master Du asked with a smile. It seems that it's because the spirit energy is insufficient. Yi Qingtang replied. In her previous life, after she left the mainland, she headed to other mainlands but discovered that the spirit energy in any other mainland was at least a few times more than in this mainland. For this mainland, Yin Yang Perfected Lord was the maximum, and the number of Yin Yang Perfected Lords could be counted with one hand. However, even arcane supremacies appeared on other mainlands. Only after breaking through the bottleneck at Yin Yang Perfected Lord 10th Heaven would one have a slim chance of attempting to advance to an arcane supremacy. However, Yin Yang Perfected Lord 10th Heaven was extremely rare. Not mentioning this domain, there were only a few even in the second domain and third domain. It was said that a cultivator could attempt to advance to the arcane supremacy realm after reaching the Yin Yang Perfected Lord 8th Heaven. Yin Yang Perfected Lord 9th Heaven was already very rare, and Yin Yang Perfected Lord 10th Heaven seemed to have already become a lost realm. In Yi Qingtang's previous life, she had never reached the threshold of Yin Yang Perfected Lord 9th Heaven, much less a Yin Yang Perfected Lord 10th Heaven, as she merely chose to advance to the arcane supremacy realm when she reached the Yin Yang Perfected Lord 8th Heaven. Nevertheless, there was never an arcane supremacy on this mainland before. Master Du spoke a long time later. The spirit energy on this mainland is so thin is because of this dragon vein. Rumors have it that the true dragon's skeletal remains absorbed about 80 to 90% of the spirit energy into this dragon vein. The reason why the Peerless School, Phantom Valley, and Biming Manor can be above the rest and become the most powerful is that they dominated the dragon vein. I see. Yi Qingtang was in thought after hearing Master Du's explanation, and her interest in the dragon vein was finally piqued. The Legend of the True Dragon and Divine Phoenix. The absorption of spirit energy by the true dragon's skeletal remains, and even the treasures in the dragon vein. This trip was equivalent to declaring to the world that the authority of the 3 top forces on this mainland Peerless School, Biming Manor, and Phantom Valley would eventually be demolished by a person. In this world, anything could be broken. If one lived fervently, even the oldest shackles and conventional rules would no longer bind them at all. Yi Qingtang never thought about her life or death in this trip to the dragon vein. She only had one goal. Step over those 3 best forces and plunder everything to become a Yin Yang Perfected Lord without impediment. However, thousands of miles away at this instant, a male youth was seated beside a mountain spring and playing a game of chess with a white-haired elderly. This youth was extremely handsome, and it was as though he walked out of a painting, yet there was a trace of an inexplicable devilish charm from his appearance. Teacher, I won. Then the elderly chuckled, and his hands left the chessboard. Chapter 831, Assembly of the Prodigies. After a long while, the youth looked at the elderly with a seeming smile. There were several guards with unfathomable martial auras standing beside the youth. Your Highness, your chess skills became more exquisite again, said the elderly with a nod. Subsequently, the youth rose and took a glance across his surroundings. Lifting a finger gently, the chessboard vanished. Is this place the mainland whose dimension wall is broken? The spirit energy is so thin. The youth's lips tugged up slightly. Your Highness, may I know why you came to this inferior mainland? A midget who was less than a meter tall asked the youth curiously. Nothing much. I just came to gain knowledge and experience. The youth replied, Your Highness, the spirit energy on this mainland is extremely thin. Even our skills are being suppressed. It's better for us to leave as soon as possible. Another guard spoke up. After hearing that, the youth smiled faintly. Since I came here, I naturally have my objectives. Do I still need you all to teach me when to leave? The guard's expression changed instantly, and he bowed with cupped fists. Please forgive me, Your Highness. The youth waved his hand and said, Rise. Noted, the guard relaxed. A while later, the youth turned around and gazed at the sky while mumbling. I never thought that the current talents would eventually compete together on this mainland. Interesting, really interesting. Does Your Highness mean that the Yin boy, black and white holy sun, and those superhuman people on the honor roll list will all come here? The midget asked curiously. There is a dragon vein here with a wintry Yin aura. If not for the long-term protection of the dimension wall, the youth scoffed before continuing. This mainland would have been conquered a long time ago. Everyone at the scene believed the youth's words fully. Teacher, let's go and take a look. The youth spoke to the elderly with a smile. The elderly stood up and said, All right, since Your Highness is so interested, I will accompany you. However, as the elderly spoke, the youth had already walked ahead. The elderly frowned slightly upon witnessing the sight, but did not mention anything. True dragon and divine phoenix in the eternal dragon vein. Thousands of talents on a small plot of land, yet it's still unfathomable. The youth's lips curled up, and his eyes shone like a bright moon. As the guards followed the youth, they sized up the elderly every now and then. Your Highness, you clearly know that perfected Guyun has already relied on the Crown Prince. But why? Do you still want to let perfected Guyun stay beside you on this trip? One of the guards asked softly with a weird expression. Don't speak nonsense. Haven't we guessed His Highness' thoughts? The midget rolled his eyes at the person who spoke immediately. At the same time, several figures appeared successively in the air extremely far away. A skinny figure arrived in the air, and a glint shone in his eyes. Right on the heels of that, a few other figures appeared again. If Yi Qingtang was present, she would definitely recognize these people with outstanding appearances. The exceptional prodigies of the central mainland actually broke through the dimension wall and appeared on this mainland at the same time. Interesting. This mainland's dimension wall actually broke during my lifetime. It seems that the dragon vein must have some fate with me. A muscular middle-aged man who was about 3 meters tall laughed loudly. You also wish to snatch the dragon vein with me? The thin youth looked at the middle-aged man and snickered. Yin boy, the muscular middle-aged man's eyes flickered, but he did not dare to attack. Chapter 832, The Start of the Great Era. Vying for supremacy, the central mainland was extremely vast, and it was almost 1,000 times larger than this mainland. It had a total of 8 dynasties, and each dynasty ruled 20 countries out of a total of 160 countries. The supposed extremely powerful central dynasty was merely one out of the 8 dynasties, and was not even considered as the top dynasty among the 8 dynasties. The central mainland was the best mainland in this domain. Apart from its almost endless territory and booming martial culture, it also had countless terrifying hidden clans, and all of the best were gathered there. Every dynasty had an honor roll list which recorded the names of the dynasty's powerful youngsters at present age. For example, Yin Boy was from the Eternal Dynasty and was one of the superhuman prodigies on the honor roll list. He was still young, but his martial skills had already entered the arcane supremacy realm. Apart from his title as the Yin Boy, he also possessed the honorific of a Yin supremacy. Swoosh! In the next second, the Yin Boy's tiny-looking body transformed into a bolt of light and disappeared instantly. I really never expected that it'd be our Eternal Dynasty to take the first step into this place. A young man, mounted on a flying spirit animal, chuckled and vanished without a trace. Beast tamer Tianzue? The muscular man frowned slightly upon seeing that young man. That Tianzue was a beast tamer who was true to his name. Although he appeared to be a young man, he was at least 100 years old. Damn it. So many talents came. It is really not definite whether I can pick up any bargains in this trip to the Dragon Vein. The muscular man mumbled. An increasing number of talents appeared that day and flew towards the Dragon Vein. At a valley, the silver wolf gradually stopped under Yi Qingtang's signal. Yi Qingtang got off the silver wolf's back quickly and was in thought as she looked at the streaks of light in the sky that disappeared with a flash. Master Du witnessed the sight as well, and his expression was rather solemn. Could it be that? Master Du spoke with a frown. Powerful figures from other mainlands entered this mainland, Yi Qingtang said. After a portion of the dimension wall was broken by Ning Luo, anyone who found the crack in the dimension wall could easily enter. Those people, some of those faces were not exactly foreign to Yi Qingtang. In her previous life, Yi Qingtang lived in the central mainland for a period of time. Thus, she had seen and heard about some talents. Earlier on, Yi Qingtang saw a figure which appeared thin and weak. Eternal dynasties. Yin-yang boy, Yi Qingtang mumbled. Although it was not a good thing that the central mainland's talents entered this place, it was fortunate that that ancient clan was situated in a remote area of the central mainland, and they should not have received news in a short time. Otherwise, the consequences would be dire. Currently, Yi Qingtang had placed all her hopes on the dragon vein. The dragon vein absorbed 80 to 90% of the spirit energy on this mainland. If she could enter it, it would be easy for her to break through to Yin-yang perfected lord given her current martial endowments. Haha, there's no need to worry. A proud expression filled Master Du's face swiftly. Although those fellows have frightening skills, they don't know where the entrance of the dragon vein is and only sense the dragon vein's aura. Just let them find it slowly. Yi Qingtang laughed. As Master Du had said, the dragon vein was hidden and extremely hard to find. Otherwise, people would have found it centuries ago. Nonetheless, it had not been long since the three sects found the dragon vein. Chapter 833 Guarded by Disciples. While it was so, Yi Qingtang still had her worries. From what she saw, the people who broke through the dimension wall were all extremely powerful figures of the central mainland. Some superhuman talents had already reached the arcane supremacy realm and owned the body of a supremacy of whose skills were overly terrifying. In the Yin-yang perfected lord realm, regardless of whether one was a Yin lord or Yang lord, it was no different from an ant in the eyes of an arcane supremacy. Once they found the dragon vein, it would be extremely difficult for her to contend for anything. A long while later, Yi Qingtang's tightly frowned brows finally relaxed a little as she looked into the sky. The good thing was that the amount of spirit energy on this mainland could not be compared to that of the surrounding mainlands. Even if an arcane supremacy entered this mainland, his martial skills would be forcefully suppressed to at most a yin-yang perfected lord. The shorter the duration they entered this mainland, the greater the drop in their martial cultivation realm, unless they had a special elixir which could increase their realm once again. Yin-yang boy is already here. I'm afraid Black and White Holy Sun would also come to this mainland to search for the dragon vein. Yi Qingtang muttered, Brother Yi Chun, let's head to the dragon vein quickly. There is not much time given to us. Master Du told Yi Qingtang a while later. Yi Qingtang nodded and sat on the silver wolf's back. In the blink of an eye, Master Du and Yi Qingtang vanished from that valley without a trace. According to Master Du, there were several entrances to the dragon vein. The main route was monopolized by the three great forces, and the two of them were naturally unable to use the main route. Dozens of years ago, Master Du once found another passageway which led into the dragon vein. However, that passageway was blocked by a diamond boulder which, in order to enter the dragon vein, had to be destroyed using the power of the extraordinary flame. 2 days later, Yi Qingtang and Master Du finally arrived at a desert. In the middle of the desert, Master Du told Yi Qingtang to stop. There is an underground lair 1,000 meters ahead of here. That is the entrance of the dragon vein. Master Du told Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang nodded after listening to Master Du's words, and both of them headed forward. After walking only a few hundreds of meters, Master Du was surprised to see that there were a few young men guarding above the underground lair. Peerless school, Yi Qingtang said softly after scanning those young men. Brother Yi Chun, I'm afraid the three forces have found this entrance to the dragon vein as well. Master Du sighed. From what Yi Qingtang saw, those people were all wearing the Peerless School's outer sect disciples' uniform, and there was not one from the Beiming Manor in Phantom Valley. Master Du, there are only Peerless School disciples here. It should be that only the Peerless School have found it, Yi Qingtang said. Even if it's the Peerless School, it's inconvenient for us to continue going further. I'm afraid that the treasures inside are already all taken away by them. Master Du lamented. However, Yi Qingtang shook her head upon hearing that. It shouldn't be. Brother Yi Chun, why do you think so? Master Du wore a perplexed expression. This route to the Dragon Vein is guarded by only 3 Peerless School outer sect disciples, which is simply illogical. If they really destroyed the Diamond Boulder, there should be at least warden-level figure from the Peerless School guarding this place. How can it be 3 ordinary outer sect disciples? Yi Qingtang explained. Chapter 834 Meticulous Thinking Master Du was in deep thought after hearing that. What Yi Qingtang said made sense. It should be that the Peerless School found this place by coincidence, but was unable to destroy the Diamond Rock and unwilling to give up. Hence, they sent a few outer sect disciples to guard this place every day to prevent outsiders from going near it. Brother Yi Chen's thinking is meticulous. It seems that way to me as well. Let's settle those 3 Peerless School disciples first and then enter the Dragon Vein, Master Du said. There's no hurry. Yi Qingtang shook her head. All of this was merely her conjecture. However, if there was a lapse in her conjecture, such that the Peerless School had already demolished the Diamond Boulder and were inside the Dragon Vein right now, dealing with those 3 Peerless School disciples would definitely alarm the other powerful figures in the Dragon Vein, and the consequences would be disastrous. By then, neither of them needed to think of leaving the place alive. Shock filled Master Du's face after hearing Yi Qingtang, and he could not help but look at Yi Qingtang for a while more. Brother Yi Chun, you are young, but your thinking is truly admirable. Then, Master Du decided to follow Yi Qingtang's advice and remain calm. Those 3 Peerless School disciples guard this place every day and will definitely make a mistake. We should be able to know whether the Diamond Boulder was destroyed from their mouths, Yi Qingtang said with certainty. Yi Qingtang and Master Du immediately kept their auras and walked forward. They only stopped when they were less than 100 meters away from the 3 Peerless School disciples. Yi Qingtang condensed the primordial qi in her body to the limits and maximized her hearing ability, seeming to wish to find out some information from the 3 people. Until late night. Damn it! When will these days end? Why did the warden order us to guard this place every day? One of the Peerless School disciples complained angrily with indignation written all over his face. Another Peerless School disciple scoffed after hearing that. What is the point in complaining here? This is the warden's decision. We are merely outer sect disciples of the Peerless School, and naturally, we are considered as cheap labor. Be careful of what you say. If the warden knows what you all said, you would die 10 times if you have 10 lives. Humph. There's nobody here anyway. Moreover, so be it if the Diamond Boulder that blocked this Dragon Vein's entrance is really destroyed. However, it has been so long, and the Diamond Boulder still remains there. It's a dead end, and there's simply no way to enter, but he still made us guard this place and kill anyone who comes near. God damn it, he seriously has nothing better to do. In the dark, Yi Qingtang's lips tugged up slightly after hearing their conversation. Master Du could not help but hold up his thumb at Yi Qingtang immediately. Brother Yi Chun, you really predicted the events like a god. You even accurately guessed this. However, Yi Qingtang chuckled lightly. They would definitely be resentful for guarding this place daily. Under these circumstances, complaining to each other is the best way of dealing with it. I really could not tell. You're so young, but can actually think of things that ordinary people are unable to. Amazing. Master Du laughed softly. A while later, Master Du's eyes flickered as he looked at those 3 Peerless School disciples in front, and he wanted to head forward. However, at this critical juncture, Yi Qingtang grabbed the corner of Master Du's clothes and pulled him back once again. Brother Yi Chun, what are you doing? Master Du looked at Yi Qingtang with a confused expression. Chapter 835 Appearance of a Supremacy. Since they knew that the Peerless School were still unable to destroy the diamond boulder, they only needed to deal with those 3 people directly that were guarding the place right now. However, Yi Qingtang did not bother with Master Du and looked at the sky with a serious expression. Noticing that, Master Du followed Yi Qingtang's gaze and scanned the air above. Whiz! In a flash, a piercing sound rang, and a light twinkled in the sky. In the next second, an elderly in a Taoist robe descended from midair gradually. Oh, the wintrine aura is so intense here, and it's even guarded by people. Could it be the entrance of the dragon vein? The elderly in a Taoist robe mumbled to himself. Yi Qingtang and Master Du watched that mysterious elderly, who appeared out of nowhere in the dark without making a sound. At this instant, the 3 Peerless School outer sect disciples looked at the elderly at the same time. Leave this place immediately or die. One of the Peerless School disciples shouted sternly at the elderly. The elderly had a normal expression and did not seem to be angered. Brothers, can I ask if this place is the entrance to the dragon vein? The elderly in a Taoist robe asked with a smile. You actually know about the dragon vein? A Peerless School disciple asked with a deep voice. Haha, I have only heard about it. The elderly nodded. I originally intended to let you live, but since you know about the dragon vein and found this place, I'm afraid I can't let you leave this place alive today. A Peerless School disciple unsheathed his sword sharply and walked towards the elderly in a Taoist robe with great strides. Are the younger generations on this mainland so irritable? The elderly in a Taoist robe had a disappointed expression. What nonsense are you saying, old thing? The Peerless School who wielded the sword shouted coldly. Little friend, upon seeing me, a supremacy, you did not bow and even wielded a sword, wanting to take my life. I cannot spare your life today, the elderly in a Taoist robe said. Supremacy? The 3 Peerless School disciples exchanged a look and subsequently convulsed with laughter. The most powerful realm on this mainland was merely the Yang Lord of Yang Perfected Lord. Where did a supremacy come from? In this world, only those whose skills had entered the arcane supremacy dared to refer to themselves as a supremacy. Yet this Taoist priest called himself a supremacy. Swoosh! Without seeing the elderly in a Taoist robe do anything, the armed disciple's head was slashed as he was laughing, and blood spattered all over the yellow sand. When this sight fell in the eyes of the other 2 Peerless School disciples, the unbridled laughter stopped immediately, and disbelief filled their faces. Since they could become the outer sect disciples of Peerless School, their martial endowments and skills were already classified as superb. Their skills were about the same as that of the Grand Elders of ordinary sects, and were at least at the 3rd heaven of martial chi level 3. Yet, the 2 Peerless School disciples did not even see the elderly in a black robe strike. It was as though their senior brother's neck broke by itself. This astonished the 2 Peerless School disciples retreated instinctively. Swoosh! The elderly in a Taoist robe raised his right arm gently with a smile. In a flash, another Peerless School disciple's skull exploded and shot out. How? How can this be? The last remaining Peerless School disciple was extremely shaken. Chapter 836 Despair. The last remaining Peerless School disciple looked at the elderly in a Taoist robe and was extremely aghast. One of the 2 Peerless School disciples he slaughtered just now had already reached a half-step Yang Perfected Lord and was extremely likely to enter Peerless School's inner sect. Thus, there was no doubt about his martial skills. However, that Peerless School who possessed the skills of a half-step Yang Perfected Lord was not able to counterattack nor even see clearly how and when the elderly attacked. Yet, when he returned to his senses, 2 skulls had already left their bodies and were shot to the sky. Even if one was an early-stage Yang Perfected Lord, he would definitely be unable to achieve that. When the last Peerless School disciple personally witnessed his 2 senior brothers being slain by the elderly in a Taoist robe, his feet turned cold, and it was as though his entire body was enveloped by an invisible fear. "Senior, spare my life, Senior." As he saw the elderly in a Taoist robe walk towards him, all color was drained from that disciple's face. His body was already drenched in cold sweat and weakened. He knelt before the elderly in a Taoist robe immediately and pleaded bitterly with a trembling voice. The last peerless school disciple was not foolish. This person killed his two senior brothers instantly, and one of them was even a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. Evidently, the skills of the elderly in a Taoist robe were already extremely scary, and he definitely not someone he could fight against. Even if he tried to escape, there was probably no way out. Currently, if that peerless school disciple wanted to live, he had no choice other than begging that elderly in a Taoist robe to spare his life. That elderly in a Taoist robe walked to the peerless school disciple swiftly, and there was slight sympathy in his eyes when he saw the peerless school disciple kowtowing nonstop while begging for forgiveness. "Senior, forgive me, please." Facing a death threat, that peerless school disciple wept bitter tears with extreme fear imminent in his voice. "Senior, I failed to recognize your honor and glory and offended you. I know my mistake. I really do. I beg you, Senior. I'm only 15 years old this year. I was insensible and stupid. I beg you, Senior. Please let me off, ah." The elderly in a Taoist robe shook his head as he watched the peerless school disciple begging piteously and let out a helpless sigh. Why are people like this? Only after causing huge trouble would one know that they were wrong and would they admit their mistake. "Senior, I was wrong. Am still young and insensible. Please spare my life, Senior." The last peerless school disciple's body trembled continuously as fear consumed him. "Look up." The elderly in a Taoist robe spoke. After hearing that, the youth raised his head up slowly. His reddened eyes were filled with fear as he looked at the elderly uneasily. Currently, all his imposing manner was already gone from his face, leaving behind only fear and despair. "You asked me to forgive you. If my skills were worse than you all earlier on, wouldn't I have been killed by you all?" The elderly in a Taoist robe told the peerless school disciple. "Senior, I really know that I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. I'm only 15. I'm insensible." Chapter 837 Despair 2. Please give me a chance to turn over a new leaf. I'm begging you. The youth's body trembled, and he implored continuously, wishing to find a means of survival from this despair. "Ah, are you only 15 years old?" The elderly in a Taoist robe sighed softly, and a trace of refusal emerged in his eyes when he saw the peerless school disciple's young-looking face. "Yes, Senior. I really dare not lie to you. I am really only 15 years old." The youth replied honestly. As he saw that the elderly in a Taoist robe had eased up a little, hope arose in him immediately. "Do you really know that you're wrong?" The elderly in a Taoist robe hesitated for a moment and asked, "I know that I'm in the wrong. I really know that I'm in the wrong and definitely will not dare to do it again. I swear to God." The youth clutched onto this last thread of survival and immediately pointed to the sky with 3 fingers in an act of swearing. "Will you really change your ways in the future and not bully the old and weak?" The elderly in a Taoist robe asked the youth again. "Yes, I'll definitely not." The youth nodded with a firm expression, afraid that any hesitation would offend this elderly in a Taoist robe. If you realized this earlier, wouldn't there be no trouble at all? The elderly in a Taoist robe sighed softly as he looked at the youth, seeming to be expecting better from him. "You lectured me correctly. From now on, I will definitely remember your words and not dare to do it again." The youth said hurriedly if he knew that the skills of this elderly in a Taoist robe were so high, he definitely would not dare to offend him no matter how bold he was. "All right, let me ask you, were those 2 senior brothers of yours in the wrong?" The elderly in a Taoist robe asked suddenly. "They were in the wrong." The youth nodded immediately. "Do they deserve to die?" The elderly in a Taoist robe asked again. "They deserve to die." The youth replied without hesitation. "Do you deserve to die then?" The elderly in a Taoist robe asked. Deserve to die, the youth replied instinctively. However, the moment this peerless school disciple finished his sentence, the elderly in a Taoist robe used his palm as a knife and slit the disciple's neck immediately. In an instant, the youth was slaughtered, and his skull flew into the sky. Large gushes of blood spouted out like a fountain, and an intense smell of blood filled the air. The detached skull still had a look of disbelief on its face. Most likely, at the moment that peerless school disciple died, he was still unable to understand why his last thread of survival was actually snipped off without a sound. With a thud, the youth's skull landed on the ground and cracked into pieces. Very good. You indeed know that you're wrong. I'm extremely gratified. The elderly in a Taoist robe had a relieved expression as he looked at the youth's headless body collapsing onto the ground. Even Yi Qingtang shuddered upon witnessing the sight in the dark. The skills of that elderly in a Taoist robe were granted, yet he gave that peerless school disciple so much hope earlier on, as though he would let him off. In the end, however, that elderly in a Taoist robe crushed that youth's hope instantly. That youth probably would not have thought that the hope he was given would actually be destroyed at that moment. The change in his mind was from one end to the other, and it was even scarier than killing that youth from his side. Master Du watched the bloody scene with a deep frown without saying anything. Chapter 838 Exposed, While later, Yi Qingtang and Master Du witnessed that elderly crush the youth's headless corpse without any change in his expression. Subsequently, that elderly in a Taoist robe left a ground of blood and walked towards the underground lair. Before long, explosion sounds blared from within the underground lair. It was so loud and was as if it could pierce one's eardrums. This deafening sound persisted for an hour before stopping gradually. A long time later, the elderly in a Taoist robe walked out from the underground lair with a cold expression. There's actually a diamond boulder blocking the way. How unlucky. Master Du smiled at Yi Qingtang after hearing that. That diamond boulder could only be destroyed with an extraordinary flame or if the skills of the elderly in a Taoist robe reached the arcane supremacy level. However, the spirit energy on this mainland was extremely thin, and even if that elderly was really an arcane supremacy, his martial level would also be suppressed to the yin-yang perfected Lord realm once he entered this mainland. In other words, as long as that elderly did not possess an extraordinary flame, he would definitely be unable to destroy that diamond boulder on this mainland. Yi Qingtang was also relieved then. Since the elderly in a Taoist robe could not break the diamond boulder, he would leave this place, and by then, she and Master Du could use the extraordinary flame to destroy it. I'm so mad. I'm really so mad. I found an entrance to the dragon vein after much difficulty, but it actually can't be opened. The elderly in a Taoist robe yelled. However, the moment he finished his sentence, he looked at the place where Yi Qingtang and Master Du were hiding at and said, I'm in a bad mood. Come out quickly, you all. Both Yi Qingtang and Master Du were stunned to hear that. This elderly in a Taoist robe actually knew where both of them were. The two of them were actually exposed from the start, aware that they were exposed and that the other party's skills were very powerful. Yi Qingtang took the lead and immediately walked out from the dark. She smiled at the elderly and said, Greetings, Supremacy Senior. Rapidly, Master Du walked out from the dark as well and followed beside Yi Qingtang with a nervous expression. Very good. You are very tactful, unlike those three youngsters who don't even know to respect the old and cherish the young. The elderly in a Taoist robe nodded in satisfaction when he saw that Yi Qingtang had a good attitude. Supremacy Senior. Just now was the first time we saw an arcane supremacy. Thus, we were agitated and did not dare to show ourselves. Please forgive us, Supremacy. Yi Qingtang confessed with a smile, and her attitude was extremely humble and respectful. Junior, you're very smart. If it's on the usual days, I would definitely not argue with you. However, at this point, a glint flashed across his eyes, and his attitude changed suddenly. "I'm in a very bad mood right now." As the elderly in a Taoist robe spoke, he struck Yi Qingtang with a palm. "Careful, Yi-chun." Master Dust's expression changed immediately. He never expected that this elderly would attack Yi Qingtang so suddenly. This elderly speed was seriously too fast, and, compared to him, the current Yi Qingtang was no different from an ant. It would only take a moment if the elderly wanted to kill her. Even though Yi Qingtang had a good eye and could see the action and trajectory of the elderly's attacks, it was simply impossible for her to dodge it given her current skill level. Chapter 839 Intelligence. Although the elderly's arcane supremacy realm was suppressed, his supremacy aura was not weakened at all, and it had completely repressed Yi Qingtang, rendering her unable to move. "Fuck! How dare you touch my person?" The little white tiger's eyes flickered immediately. When he was about to burn all the stored energy in its body and go all out against that elderly in a Taoist robe, an apathetic laugh traveled into everyone's ears. "Huh, interesting." The elderly in a Taoist robe stopped his movement instantly and looked at the direction of the voice. At that instant, a male youth slowly walked into everyone's line of sight. The male youth was donned in white, and his every movement was cultured and refined. He had an extremely handsome appearance, and it seemed as if he walked out from a painting completely unlike a human from Earth. Ling Yin, the elderly in a Taoist robe, was slightly taken aback to see that male youth. "Soul Eater Taoist, you're a dignified arcane supremacy, but you're bullying a lady when you just arrived in this mainland. It's not too good if this news is spread," the youth in white, who was called Ling Yin by the elderly, said with a smile. Ling Yin. Almost instinctively, Yi Qingtang looked at the cultured and refined male. Although Yi Qingtang had never met Ling Yin in her previous life, he had a well-known reputation. Ling Yin was the third prince of Eternal Dynasty. His martial endowments were extremely mediocre, but his intelligence was no different from that of a demon's. Ling Yan's frightening intelligence once allowed him to toy a peak arcane supremacy to death when he was only at second heaven of martial chi level 1. Before Ling Yin, any wise person could only admire him greatly. Many years later, a certain prodigy in Central Mainland started the Emperor bloodline and trampled over all other 6 dynasties to become the most powerful dynasty in Central Mainland. Nonetheless, that prodigy did not dare to touch the Eternal Dynasty, all in fear of Ling Yin, who did not have much martial skill, demon-like wisdom in the entire world. Only Ling Yin was worthy of this description. Ling Yin, just you alone? Soul Eater Taoist scanned Ling Yan's surroundings and used the power of his spirit to peep miles around, but he discovered that Ling Yan's people were not nearby. After a cultivator entered the arcane supremacy realm, he could condense his soul, which was extremely useful. Higher than the arcane supremacy, a heavenly venerate could peer into thousands of miles around himself with their divine sense, and every single movement and object would not escape their spirit scanning. "Ah," Ling Yin chuckled. "Soul Eater Taoist, don't worry. It's only me." "Oh, it's only you, but you still dare to appear before me?" Soul Eater Taoist's eyes flickered, and a thought of killing Ling Yin arose in him instantly. "I came to let you kill me, and indeed, I told you that there's no one in my surroundings, but you still aren't killing me." Ling Yan's lips tugged up slightly into a devilish smile as he stood with his hands behind him, appearing as though he would definitely not resist. Ew. Soul Eater Taoist clenched his teeth as he wished he could rush forward and chop Ling Yan's head off. However, his rationality forbade him from doing so. Given Ling Yan's demon-like intelligence, he clearly knew that he would die without a doubt after meeting Soul Eater Taoist. But how could he appear here without bringing anyone and let Soul Eater Taoist kill him as he wished? "Why? Are you so timid?" Ling Yin roared with laughter. "Soul Eater Taoist, you're truly more foolish the older you become. I'm only at the third heaven of martial chi level 3. As a supremacy, do you actually not dare to step forward?" You. You, Soul Eater Taoist gritted his teeth, and his face was flushed, making it evident that he was infuriated. Chapter 840 Play a game nonetheless. The enraged Soul Eater Taoist did not dare to go near Ling Yin at all. An eternal dynasty, and even the entire central mainland, this man had the equivalent of 0 martial skills, yet he played the world in his hands. Soul Eater Taoist, perhaps my head is more valuable than the treasures in the dragon vein. Now that I have sent myself here for you to behead me, are you really going to give up on this chance? Ling Yin sized up Soul Eater Taoist with a penetrating gaze that seemed to be able to see through everyone clearly. At this instant, Soul Eater Taoist's eyes flickered persistently. However, he scoffed after a long while. Aha! Ling Yin, don't think that I don't know what game you're playing. You're simply goading me. According to my guess, your guard should be finding the dragon vein nearby. Thus, you're merely making an empty show of strength. Do you think that I will be scared and toyed by you? After hearing Soul Eater Taoist, Ling Yan's lips curled up slightly into a devilish smile. Ling Yan stretched his arm out immediately and curled his index finger with his palm, facing upward. Since you saw through it, why aren't you coming to kill me? Come over. Don't disappoint me. Soul Eater Taoist stood at the same spot and was in deep thought for a long time. Eventually, he scoffed and said, Ling Yin, I have no time to talk nonsense with you today. The next time I meet you, they'll definitely take your lowly life. After finishing his sentence, Soul Eater Taoist rushed to the sky immediately and disappeared without a trace. Seeing that Soul Eater Taoist actually fled without fighting, Master Du could not help but inspect the youth in white. Where is this person from? I see that his martial aura is at most at the martial chi level 3 realm, but even an arcane supremacy was scared away. How unbelievable. Master Du told Yi Qingtang softly. What kind of concept was an arcane supremacy? Any figure above the yin-yang perfected lord could easily crush a yin-yang perfected lord with a finger, and a martial chi level 3 was like an ant in the eyes of an arcane supremacy. Ling Yin, Central Mainland, Eternal Dynasty's third prince, Yi Qingtang muttered softly and peered at the man in white. At that moment, Ling Yan's galaxy-like eyes similarly landed on Yi Qingtang with a seeming smile. Many thanks. Yi Qingtang thanked Ling Yan with cupped fists very quickly. Ling Yan walked towards Yi Qingtang and said, You seem to be familiar with me. What are you saying, young sir? This is the first time we met, Yi Qingtang said. However, Ling Yan shook his head and explained, Words may lie, but eyes will not. Your eyes tell me that we have met before in the past. Yi Qingtang was taken aback. Everyone said that Ling Yan's intelligence was demon-like, but she never thought that he could analyze all of that from just her careless gaze. Young Sir Ling Yan, I am a cultivator on this mainland. The spirit energy here is thin, and there are very few cultivators who headed to the outside world. Furthermore, I'm only at a half-step yin-yang perfected lord realm. How is it possible for me to head to the mainland that you're from and meet you before this? Yi Qingtang smiled. That's right. Ling Yan nodded, and the corners of his lips tugged up subsequently. But it's strange exactly because of that. How about you and I play a game? Ling Yan looked at Yi Qingtang with a seeming smile. Chapter 841 You Are Reborn, Play a Game. Yi Qingtang's brows furrowed slightly after she heard Ling Yan. Young Sir Ling Yan, your martial skills are only at martial chi level 3, while I am already a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. It is extremely easy if I want to kill you. Are you really not afraid that I would kill you if you talk to me with this attitude? However, Ling Yan shook his head immediately. You don't dare to. I don't dare to. Yi Qingtang's eyes flickered, and a murderous glint emerged. There's no need to test me. Ling Yan patted Yi Qingtang's left shoulder and said, Since you're from this mainland, family clan, sect, and everything you care about is here. If you kill me, everything you care about will be destroyed and turned into dust. Who would take such a huge risk because of a stranger that he has never met before? Yi Qingtang sighed, and her grip on the sword handle loosened immediately. Noticing it, Ling Yin laughed and said, "So our game should have begun already." "Young Sir Ling Yin, what do you mean by playing a game?" Yi Qingtang questioned. "First, let me confirm your identity." Ling Yin looked at Yi Qingtang. "Identity?" Yi Qingtang chuckled. It was the first time Ling Yin came to this mainland, and also the first time he met her. No matter how smart Ling Yin was, he would definitely be unable to see through her identity. "Are you?" Ling Yin scanned Yi Qingtang for a long time before continuing. "Reborn." "What?" Almost instinctively, Yi Qingtang unsheathed her sword immediately and stared at Ling Yin in shock. "Oh, this action. It seems that I guessed correctly?" Ling Yin smiled. Yi Qingtang kept her sword and reorganized her emotions. "What are you talking about, young Sir Ling Yin? I don't understand what reborn is. Please resolve my confusion, young Sir Ling Yin." "Nothing much. I was just making a joke casually. You don't need to take it seriously, Mississippi." Ling Yin smiled. The current Yi Qingtang had already resumed her female appearance. "I believe you will confess your identity to me on your own later on," Ling Yin added. Not waiting for Yi Qingtang to speak, Ling Yin asked, "Aren't you curious how I know that you are reborn?" Surprise emerged in Yi Qingtang's eyes. This Ling Yin had long seen through one's mind. "You don't need to worry that this will leak out. I've closed the 5 senses of the elderly beside you, and your 2 spirit pets have already fallen asleep," Ling Yin said. Yi Qingtang looked at Master Du almost instinctively. Indeed, Master Du stood rooted to the ground with a blank expression, as though he knew nothing about everything before him. The little white tiger and little lightning dragon were already snoring. "You must be thinking about how I know all of this and what motives I have exactly." Ling Yin walked to a rock and sat on it casually. "I really don't know what you're talking about." Yi Qingtang frowned. "Miss, looking from karma, you are fated to meet me," Ling Yin said. "Karma?" Yi Qingtang narrowed her eyes. It was rumored that Ling Yin possessed the karma bloodline and could predict the causality of everything. Everyone said that life is predestined by the heavens. However, destiny is merely reaping the effect of whatever cause one sowed. Ling Yin waved his right arm as he spoke. In the next second, an illusory natal chart appeared before Yi Qingtang's eyes. "Look, this is my karmic natal chart." Ling Yin pointed at the illusory natal chart. Chapter 842 Predestined. Yi Qingtang sized up Ling Yan's karmic natal chart. Just like a chess game, the first half of his fate was already predestined, but the latter half of the natal chart was vague. "What does it mean?" Yi Qingtang asked. "The first half of my natal chart is what I have done in my life and cannot be changed, while the latter half is so vague because I have not sowed any cause. Thus, there's no way of having an effect. Destiny is held in one's hands. Even if the heavens want to predestine someone's life, it will merely guide him to do some things. For example, if the heavens want you to die, it will definitely lead you to lay some foundations like suiciding out of sorrow and grief. These sorrowful events are the cause, and your suicide is the effect. One would never die for no reason. Destiny is about causality. If the heavens want you to go insane, it will definitely cause you to swell with emotions. In that case, swelling is the cause, and insanity is the effect." Ling Yin smiled. Yi Qingtang was not clear and did not really understand what karma was. In other words, the heavens are unable to predestine a person's life and will only lead you to do some things to achieve the destiny that the heavens want to. It's like your destiny is to be slaughtered by a powerful figure eventually. So the heavens would definitely lead you to do things that will anger the powerful figure. Thus, destiny is actually held in your own hands. This is why the karmic natal chart for the rest of your life is so vague and empty. Yi Qingtang asked. "That's right. I have not done anything in the latter half of my life. Thus, the natal chart is so empty." Ling Yin replied with a smile. Although Yi Qingtang still could not understand, she roughly understood the general idea. "But what made me curious is your natal chart." Then, Ling Yin waved his arm, and another illusory karmic natal chart appeared before Yi Qingtang once again. This natal chart, Yi Qingtang inspected the illusory natal chart. The karmic destiny on it was already arranged in order like an old person who had finished living his life. "It's your natal chart," Ling Yin said. "Mine." A trace of surprise emerged in Yi Qingtang's eyes immediately. Going by what Ling Yin said, how could her karmic natal chart already be predestined? "Look at your natal chart. How miserable." Ling Yin chuckled and subsequently faded that karmic natal chart away. It said that Ling Yan's intelligence is like that of a demon. You can predict all sorts of details just from a few pieces of information of one's karma. Admirable. Yi Qingtang looked at Ling Yan and said. Ling Yan's expression remained the same. "So you're admitting that you are reborn. However, I still don't know what you're talking about," Yi Qingtang said. "In this world, fighting with emperor-level figures and true gods is no better than fighting with the heavens. The outcome of your natal chart is already predestined. If I can change your destiny, doesn't it prove that I am more powerful than it?" Ling Yan pointed to the sky as he spoke. This person, Yi Qingtang looked at Ling Yan. He was simply a complete lunatic. His ambitions were so frightening, and he actually wants to fight with the heavens. "How about bringing me to the Dragon Vein?" Ling Yan asked. "Although this place is the entrance to the Dragon Vein, there is a diamond boulder below," Yi Qingtang said. "You can destroy it then." Ling Yan smiled. "Even an arcane supremacy cannot break it. How can I be able to?" Yi Qingtang shook her head, instinctively wanting to stay further away from this man. Chapter 843, Complete. Controlling. Yin looked at Yi Qingtang meaningfully and said, "Since you hid here and waited for a long time, it proves that you have a way of destroying the diamond boulder and entering the Dragon Vein. Am I correct?" "It's impossible for me to bring you into the Dragon Vein," Yi Qingtang said coldly. "No, you will definitely bring me along." Ling Yin chuckled. "Sure, let's try then." A glint flashed across Yi Qingtang's eyes. She did not believe that Ling Yin could force her to bring him along. "I have a teacher who is also at the arcane supremacy realm. However, he had already relied on the crown prince and is following by my side only to pry for information or to find a chance to kill me. If I did not guess wrongly, his divine sense has already noticed that you and I have been talking for a long time. If I am not by your side, don't you think that my teacher would believe that we are related and catch you for interrogation?" Ling Yin said softly. "You." Yi Qingtang was immediately infuriated after hearing Ling Yan's words. This Ling Yan had already planned everything the moment he appeared. Apart from herself, Soul Eater Taoist, and even his teacher were all under his complete control. "Are you really not afraid that I'd kill you?" Yi Qingtang drew out her sword sharply and pointed it at Ling Yan. Ling Yan's martial skills were only at the third heaven of martial chi level 3, and it was very easy if she really wanted to kill him. "Huh?" Ling Yan shook his head and laughed. "You don't wish to kill me. You wish to make this stance for my teacher to see, and you believe that as long as you draw the line with me, my teacher would not find you." Yi Qingtang felt that she was about to go crazy after listening to Ling Yan's words. Why could Ling Yan see through what she was thinking about? Was he a monster? "Yes, that's my intention. So what?" Yi Qingtang said coldly. "By doing this, my teacher would only think that we are very close and that I taught you everything. It will produce the opposite of the desired result instead," Ling Yan said. At this instant, Yi Qingtang finally experienced for herself what that Soul Eater Taoist felt earlier on. "Ling Yan, you already schemed against me from when you appeared," Yi Qingtang said. The corners of Ling Yan's lips tugged up into a devilish smile. Yi Qingtang did not know why she would have any relation with Ling Yan. How truly unlucky she was. "Do you agree to bring me to the Dragon Vein already?" Ling Yan asked curiously. "No," Yi Qingtang said coldly. "Oh, actually, you only feel that you have no face anymore. However, you're only a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. Back then, a heavenly venerate also lost face before me and even almost lost his life. Thus, As a lady, you really don't need to care too much about your face. Ling Yin chuckled. Ultimately, Yi Qingtang sighed and said, "You are amazing. I will bring you to the dragon vein, but you better not hinder me. That is a given. My skills are worse than yours. If I really harbor evil designs towards you, you can kill me easily." Ling Yin responded, "Cut the crap. Release your spell and let them regain consciousness," Yi Qingtang said. The next second, Master Du shivered slightly, and he scanned the surroundings in surprise. "Fuck, I actually fell asleep. I must be too tired these few days. How pitiful am I?" The little white tiger yawned and muttered. "Master Du, let's go," Yi Qingtang said. Master Du was stunned to hear that. "You mean bringing him along?" Chapter 844 Flea Senior. In any case, I rescued you all just now. Bringing me along to the dragon vein should not be overboard. Ling Yin told Master Du with a smile. "It seems to be reasonable." Master Du nodded eventually. If this man did not appear just now, the consequences would be dire. Moreover, this person's martial skills were only at the third heaven of martial chi level 3, and there was no need to worry about anything. "Let's go." Yi Qingtang waved and walked towards the underground lair. A while later, Ling Yin followed Yi Qingtang into the underground lair, where the diamond boulder laid right ahead. This diamond boulder was extremely sturdy and could even be matched with Millennium Meteoric Iron. It was a pity that it could not be a refining material like the Millennium Meteoric Iron. Otherwise, this would be shocking wealth. A moment later, a golden flame floated in Yi Qingtang's palm. As the golden flame clung onto the diamond boulder gradually turned into fragments. Several hours later, Yi Qingtang finally destroyed the entire diamond boulder that blocked the way. Ahead was a narrow and pitch-dark pathway which led to the dragon vein. Very quickly, a golden flame that danced around Yi Qingtang lit the place. Yi Qingtang and the others used the light from the golden flame and walked ahead in large strides. An hour later, a terrifying roar rang from somewhere halfway through the pathway. For a moment, Yi Qingtang and Master Du were on the alert as they sized up the surroundings. Even the periphery of Dragon Vein was also extremely dangerous, and both of them were aware of this. SSS. SSSSSSSS. Unusual sounds were heard very quickly. Master Du used the light to peer ahead. Before long, a scarecrow that was made from straws appeared in everyone's line of sight. "What is that thing?" Master Du had an odd expression. Why could that scarecrow stand straight and walk like a human? Before Yi Qingtang could say anything, several scarecrows appeared again. "Fuck! Get lost! Don't block the way!" The little white tiger shouted coldly at those scarecrows. However, as the little white tigers spoke, the roars that they heard before sounded from these scarecrows' mouths. In the next second, an appalling demonic air appeared on those scarecrows' bodies. "This is bad." Sensing the immense and frightening demonic air, Master Du had an expression of shock. Not mentioning Master Du, even Yi Qingtang's expression changed as well. Each of those scarecrows was nearly as skilled as Falling Sky Valley's Full Moon Peak Master, Xianyuan Yi. In a flash, several scarecrows charged towards Yi Qingtang and Master Du run. Master Du yelled and ran away. Yi Qingtang did not hesitate either and fled when those scarecrows appeared. Only Ling Yin was held behind by the scarecrows as his martial skills were weaker. At this instant, Yi Qingtang did not have the mind to care about Ling Yin, as they were not even friends, and he even teased her a few times since appearing. Blocked by two of the scarecrows, Ling Yin shook his head and sighed. "What kind of friend is this to leave me behind and flee on your own?" Swoosh! As he spoke, two scarecrows cried and wanted to rip Ling Yin apart. At the same time, a black gourd appeared in Ling Yan's hand. All of the demonic air on those scarecrows was actually sucked away by the black gourd. In the next second, without the demonic air, the scarecrows split into pieces. Chapter 845, Everlasting Flower. At this very moment, Yi Qingtang's speed had already reached the maximum, and she turned into a bolt of light. While the Scarecrow's skills were frightening, they were not fast and were already shaken off by Yi Qingtang in no time. However, it was only when she looked back did she realize that she was the only one there. It was unknown whether Ling Yin was still alive or not while Master Du had separated from her. Fuck, I was scared to death. The little white tiger leaped into Yi Qingtang's arms immediately. You are a fiend celestial beast. Yi Qingtang stared at the little white tiger speechlessly. So what if I'm a fiend celestial beast? Those scarecrows are monsters. They must have appeared to eat me. The little white tiger said seriously. Yi Qingtang darted a look at the little white tiger. Those scarecrows did not even look it in the eye, all right. It has nothing to do with you. Yi Qingtang could not help but say. However, the little white tiger rolled its eyes Yi Qingtang after hearing it. You're too narcissistic. Each of those scarecrows has the combat power of an yin-yang perfected Lord Third Heaven. If they're not here to find me, are they here to find you? For a moment, Yi Qingtang actually did not have anything to counter back. Then, Yi Qingtang's eyes landed on a boulder not far away. For some reason, she felt that there was something strange about it. What are you looking at? The boulder actually made a noise out of the sudden. Fuck. Almost instantly, the little white tiger jumped up in fear and hid in Yi Qingtang's embrace. Monster! Yi Qingtang frowned and walked towards the boulder. Looking at it carefully, it was also Diamond Boulder. A talking stone. What are you? Yi Qingtang asked curiously. It's more like, what are you? The Diamond Boulder shouted at Yi Qingtang furiously. Yi Qingtang inspected it attentively. It was indeed a boulder. Moreover, there was an extremely pretty flower at the top of the boulder. Everlasting flower. Upon seeing it, Yi Qingtang's heart raced, and her body trembled slightly. It was said that the everlasting flower was sacred, and anyone who consumed it had a chance of obtaining the powers of immortality. It was an item that could make it very likely for an arcane supremacy to advance to the heavenly venerate successfully. It was a sacred item that was sufficient for all the powerful figures in the first domain to go crazy over. Looking at your thievish eyes, it must be that you want to snatch my treasure. The Diamond Boulder moved backward as it spoke. Then, Yi Qingtang immediately rushed forward and stretched a hand out to pluck the everlasting flower. However, the Diamond Boulder was extremely quick and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Quickly help me to catch it. Yi Qingtang told the little white tiger in her arms immediately. That Diamond Boulder was too fast, and there was no way for Yi Qingtang to chase after it, given her current skills. I'm scared. I'm not going. The little white tiger shook its head repeatedly. As it spoke, the Diamond Boulder had already vanished without a trace and could not be found anywhere. Everlasting flower. Yi Qingtang's eyes were burning. If she obtained the everlasting flower, yet it was a pity that she missed the one chance just like this. Yi Qingtang no longer bothered with the little white tiger and searched for Master Du in the surroundings. Nonetheless, after searching for several hours, he was nowhere to be found. On the other hand, Yi Qingtang also met many strange monsters. Thus, she could only retreat and walk towards the real dragon vein. Half a day later, a ray of light shone ahead. With the little white tiger in her arms, Yi Qingtang walked ahead cautiously. Chapter 846 cannot defeat it. When Yi Qingtang walked to the end, she realized that the light was shining from ahead, and there was a massive, heaven-like mountain valley outside. Standing at the end of the pathway, Yi Qingtang could even hear the sound of flowing water and chirping of birds. This is the dragon vein in the mountain valley? The little white tiger sized up the mountain valley with curiosity etched on its face. Yi Qingtang remained silent for a moment and replied, "It should be that the spirit energy in this place condensed into an independent small world. This situation was not considered rare. Back when Yi Qingtang was at her peak, she saw many instances of spirit energy condensing into a small world, and sometimes there were even humans in a mystic realm in the second domain. Those humans who were condensed by the mystic realm had terrifying combat powers almost that of an emperor-level figure, and were even more intelligent. They possessed their independent consciousness and saw themselves as the real humans. Associating it with the dragon vein situation, it seemed to be rather similar to those scary mystic realms that Yi Qingtang saw in the second domain back then. Diamond Boulder. In the next second, Yi Qingtang saw that the diamond boulder that hosted the everlasting flower actually appeared in a stream and was moving its body leisurely. Fuck, a rotten stone is actually bathing. The little white tiger widened its eyes and could not refrain from swearing. Chase after it, Yi Qingtang said with a frown. However, the little white tiger shook its head. Are you going to pluck its everlasting flower or courting death? Of course, to pluck the everlasting flower. Yi Qingtang had an odd expression in her eyes, as she did not know why would the little white tiger say that. So, you're not afraid of being beaten to death by that rotten stone? The little white tiger stared at Yi Qingtang even more strangely. Immediately, Yi Qingtang sized up the golden boulder in the stream, but she could not tell what threat it would be to her. The speed that it ran away just now is at least that of a human yin-yang perfected Lord Sixth Heaven or Seventh Heaven. If you look for it, I'm afraid it'll kill us both. The little white tiger rolled its eyes at Yi Qingtang. That may not be so. Xiao Guai is extremely fast as well, Yi Qingtang said. That's true too. That rotten wolf speed is not ordinary. The little white tiger nodded and subsequently looked around its surroundings. Where's the wolf? When the little white tiger said that, Yi Qingtang was alarmed and looked around hurriedly. However, the silver wolf was already nowhere to be seen. Yi Qingtang hit her forehead in frustration. Xiao Guai is lost. Where did that rotten wolf go to? The little white tiger mumbled. After a moment, it seemed to recall something and said immediately, Fuck, I remember already. When we encountered those scarecrows just now, the rotten wolf was the first to run. It was too fast and vanished in an instant. Yi Qingtang was a little relieved after hearing that. All was good as long as Xiao Guai was not in danger. Look, at such critical moments, whatever wolf and ball are all not reliable. The little white tiger scoffed. Ball? What ball? Yi Qingtang did not understand. Black ball, the little white tiger said. Black ball. Yi Qingtang was even more confused. Look, that rotten stone ran away. The little white tiger looked at the bottom of the mountain valley. Yi Qingtang looked over after hearing, and indeed, the diamond boulder had already left the stream. I could smell a dangerous air on that stone. I'm afraid that even if we join forces, we may not be able to defeat it. The little white tiger commented thoughtfully. Chapter 847 Opening of the Dragon Vein. Since the little white tiger said that, it proved that the diamond boulder from earlier on was not simple. That stone did not provoke you. Why do you want to snatch the flower on its head? The little white tiger asked. Yi Qingtang looked puzzled after hearing the little white tiger. How can it be called snatching? Everything in this dragon vein is formed by spirit energy and does not have an owner. They're only waiting for fated people to retrieve them. Moreover, the everlasting flower is merely a useless decoration for that stone, but it's very meaningful to me. The little white tiger nodded immediately. Fuck, you're right. I forgot that everything in the dragon vein is transformed by the spirit energy on this mainland, including that rotten stone. Currently, Yi Qingtang did not continue to think of the everlasting flower and was instead worried about the safety of Master Du and the silver wolf. There were too many strange creatures in this dragon vein, and even yin-yang perfected lord monsters existed. If Master Du and Xiao Guai encountered those monsters, it would be difficult for them to escape. Seeming to tell what Yi Qingtang was thinking of, the little white tiger said, Don't worry too much. That damn wolf speed is so fast and is as timid as a hare. If it is met with danger, no one would run faster than it, and there will definitely be no problem. As for that old man, he is not that simple either. Regardless, Yi Qingtang could not return now either. There were at least hundreds of entrances and exits, and returning to find them was no different from finding a needle in a haystack. There was no way of finding them. Xiao Guai and Master Du knew that the objective of this trip was the Dragon Vein, and should be heading there as fast as possible too. Perhaps they had already entered the Dragon Vein right now. Thus, she could search for them in their first. If all else failed, she would return again to search for them. Eventually, under the little white tiger's urges, Yi Qingtang took a leap and landed in the mountain valley. In the pitch-dark tunnel, a handsome man with an outstanding quality walked ahead slowly with his hands behind him. Roar! Then a furious roar sounded. An extremely huge demonic beast ahead blocked the man's way. Ling Yin was in thought as he looked at that demonic beast. Come out. Then, a few scarecrows which possessed the combat power of Yin Yang perfected Lord Third Heaven were released from Black Gourd. Previously, Ling Yin used the Black Gourd to suck all of the scarecrow's murderous aura away, and presently, the murderous aura in the Black Gourd condensed again to form Ling Yan's creatures. Very quickly, that demonic beast was surrounded by the scarecrows while Ling Yin walked towards a ray of light ahead rapidly without looking back. Interesting. As Ling Yin looked at the mountain valley behind the ray of light, his lips tugged up slightly, and he leaped down with a face full of smiles. At the same time, numerous figures appeared in the periphery of the mountain valley. Yin Child, after seeing the indifferent youth in the periphery of the mountain valley, the eyes and elderly clutching onto a gold scepter gleamed. Swoosh! An endless commanding power erupted from the gold scepter. In just a flash, that indifferent youth's head flew to the sky. Upon hearing the sound of a battle, Yi Qingtang rapidly went closer and hid in a dark spot. That is Yin Child. Yi Qingtang's brows were furrowed slightly. These people were all from one of the 8 dynasties of Central Mainland talents on the honor roll list of Eternal Dynasty or itinerant cultivators with extremely powerful skills. If that black-robed elderly holding onto the gold scepter was an itinerant cultivator, he seemed to have a complicated history with Yin Child. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.